Your cat has standards, real ones. And the uncomfortable truth is, you're probably failing most of them right now. Not because you're a bad owner, not because you don't love them, but because your cat holds you to a set of rules that nobody ever told you about. Silent standards, built into their very nature, passed down from thousands of years of instinct that they expect you to understand without ever being taught. And every single day that you unknowingly break them, your cat is taking note. They won't yell, they won't leave a bad review, but they will quietly, slowly begin to trust you a little less. Today, we're going to walk through 6 of those standards, the ones your cat has always had for you. And by the end, you'll finally understand why your cat behaves the way they do and what you can start doing differently starting today. 1. Stop treating their personal space like it's yours. Let's start with the standard almost every owner breaks within the first week of owning a cat. And it feels so innocent that most people never even realize they're doing it. You reach for your cat whenever you want to. You pick them up mid-nap. You pull them onto your lap when you want company. You pet them simply because they're there and they're soft and you feel like it. And in your mind, that's love. That's closeness. That's being a good owner. But here's what your cat's standard actually is. Contact happens on their terms, not yours. Cats are not dogs. They didn't evolve as pack animals wired to seek constant physical closeness. They're solitary, autonomous hunters who choose their interactions deliberately. Every time a cat comes to you, every time they rub against your leg, jump on your lap, or press their head into your hand, that is a conscious, meaningful decision. They chose you in that moment. When you override that choice by grabbing them, forcing a cuddle, or interrupting their rest for your own need for connection, even lovingly, you're sending them a message. Your preferences don't matter here. And a cat who hears that message often enough will start avoiding the situations where it gets delivered. They'll stay just out of reach. They'll sleep in rooms you're not in. They'll come less often. The standard your cat has for you is simple. Wait to be invited. Let them come to you. Offer your hand and let them decide what happens next. When you start doing that consistently, something remarkable will happen. Your cat will start choosing you more because now you're someone who respects them. And that changes everything. But that's just the beginning, because the second standard, most people fail it dozens of times a day without realizing it. 2. Learn to read the signals before it's too late. Has your cat ever gone from perfectly calm to suddenly swatting or biting you, seemingly out of nowhere? Here's the truth. It was never out of nowhere. Your cat gave you warnings, several of them. You just didn't know what to look for. Cats communicate almost entirely through body language, and unlike humans, they don't repeat themselves. They don't escalate gradually with words before they act. They signal once, maybe twice, and then they respond physically when those signals are ignored. A flicking tail isn't excitement, it's irritation. Ears that rotate slightly backward aren't curiosity, that's discomfort. Skin that ripples along the back is your cat's body saying, "I have reached my limit." These are the signals. And missing them isn't just a small misread. To your cat, it means you either don't care or aren't paying attention. Either way, you've failed their standard. Scientists who study feline communication have documented that cats living with owners who correctly respond to their body language signals show measurably lower stress hormones, initiate more social contact, and recover from startling events faster. In other words, a cat who feels understood is a calmer, happier, more affectionate cat. The standard here isn't hard, but it requires intention. Watch your cat, not just when you want to interact with them, all the time. Learn the difference between a tail held high and a tail that's lashing. Learn what their eyes look like when they're relaxed versus when they're tense. Your cat has been fluent in this language their entire life. The least they ask is that you try to learn a few phrases. And speaking of learning, if this is already opening your eyes, make sure you stay with us through point 6, because we've saved the most revealing standard for last, the one your cat demonstrates every night without you ever asking. 3. Never mess with what they've claimed. There's a spot in your home that your cat has chosen. Maybe it's a corner of the couch, maybe a specific cushion, a certain windowsill, or a cardboard box you were just about to throw away. You've noticed them always going back to that same place, and you've probably never thought much of it. But to your cat, that spot isn't random. It's a declaration. Cats experience their home as a scent-mapped territory. Every surface they press their face against, every corner they curl into repeatedly, they are depositing pheromones, invisible chemical signatures that tell them, this is mine, this is familiar, this is safe. That specific location has been claimed, processed, and filed away in their brain as a place where their guard can come down. So when you move that blanket to the other room, rearrange the furniture, toss out that worn-down box, or even just wash their favorite cushion cover, you haven't just tidied up. In your cat's world, you've erased something that belonged to them. Their scent map no longer matches the reality of the room. And a cat whose map doesn't match reality is a cat that no longer feels entirely safe. Research from the Journal of Feline Medicine and Surgery confirms that environmental disruption, even small, seemingly harmless changes, ranks among the top stressors for indoor cats. Appetite changes, litter box avoidance, increased hiding. These aren't behavioral problems, they're responses to a standard being broken. The rule is respect. If your cat has claimed it, it belongs to them. And if something truly needs to change, do it slowly, a little at a time, so their internal map can update without the ground feeling like it's shifting beneath them overnight. 4. Give them peace at mealtime. This one is going to feel strange at first, because it goes against every instinct you have as a loving pet owner. When your cat is eating, walk away. Don't talk to them, don't pet them, don't hover nearby watching them, just leave them alone. Here's why. In the wild, eating is the moment when a cat is most exposed. Head down, senses partially occupied, guard lower than at any other point in their day. That deeply wired vulnerability doesn't disappear just because they're eating premium kibble from a ceramic bowl in a climate-controlled apartment. The instinct is still running in the background, always. When you stand near their bowl, speak to them mid-meal, or reach down to give them an affectionate stroke while they're eating, their nervous system doesn't register that as sweetness. It registers it as a presence that requires monitoring. Part of their attention shifts from eating to tracking you, and a cat that can't fully relax into a meal will often eat too fast, guard their food, or eventually begin avoiding the bowl altogether. In homes with multiple cats, this same principle plays out without human involvement. Bowls placed too close together force each cat to eat while managing awareness of the other. The proximity itself creates pressure. Meals become stressful instead of restorative. Your cat's standard at mealtime is simply this: those few minutes belong entirely to them. No company, no commentary, no touch. Put the bowl down, step back, and let them eat in the quiet dignity they deserve. It's a small act of respect, but your cat will notice. 5. Show up when it counts. You walk through the front door after a long day. You drop your bag, check your phone, kick off your shoes, head straight to the kitchen. And somewhere in that routine, you walked right past your cat, who was sitting there, waiting, watching the door from the moment they heard your key in the lock. To you, it was nothing. You're tired. You'll pet them in a few minutes. It didn't mean anything. To your cat, that moment meant everything. Cats do not greet casually. When your cat positions themselves near the door, sits up when you walk in, or trots over with their tail raised like a little flag, that is a deliberate social act. It means they tracked your absence, they registered your return, and they showed up to acknowledge it. That behavior is reserved for beings they genuinely trust. Studies in feline social behavior have found that cats form distinct greeting rituals with the humans they bond with most deeply. Slow approaches, tail-up postures, soft vocalizations, the same behaviors they use when greeting other cats they feel safe with. This isn't neediness. This is your cat extending the highest social courtesy they know how to give. When you miss it, repeatedly, day after day, your cat doesn't get angry, they just quietly adjust their expectations. The tail-up greeting gets shorter, then it stops happening at the door, then they stop coming at all. Not because they stopped caring, because they learned that this standard of yours doesn't get met. The fix takes 10 seconds. When you walk in, find your cat. Acknowledge them. A soft word, a slow blink, a gentle touch if they invite it. That's all. 10 seconds to tell them, I saw you, I'm glad to be back, you matter here. 6. The standard they set in silence every single night. We've been building toward this one the entire video. Every night, your cat makes a decision. It's quiet, it's private, and most owners never think to examine it, but it is, without question, the most honest assessment your cat will ever give you. They decide where to sleep. A cat who chooses to sleep on your chest, tucked against your neck or pressed alongside your body, is telling you something that cannot be faked or performed. Sleep is surrender. In the wild, an animal that sleeps deeply near another creature is placing their life in that creature's hands. Your cat, at their most instinctively guarded, has decided you are safe enough to be completely defenseless beside. That is not comfort, that is devotion. A cat who sleeps at the foot of the bed is still choosing you, still close, still connected, but keeping just enough distance to feel in control. They trust you, but the picture isn't complete yet. There may be a standard or two from today's list that's still getting broken. They're not rejecting you, they're waiting to see if you'll get there. And a cat who consistently sleeps in a different room, who never quite makes their way to where you are at night, that's worth sitting with honestly. It doesn't mean they don't love you, but something in your daily dynamic isn't giving them the sense of safety they need to fully let their guard down around you. The beautiful thing is, none of this is permanent. Cats are remarkably forgiving creatures. Every single day is a new chance to meet their standards, not because you have to earn their love, but because they are already offering it, quietly, patiently, waiting for you to finally understand the language it's written in. Now you do. 6 standards. 6 ways your cat has been measuring you. Not harshly, not maliciously, but the way any living creature measures the people they depend on. By whether they feel seen, whether they feel safe, whether the person they've chosen to love is worth the vulnerability of truly letting them in. You didn't know these rules before. Most people never find out. But now you do, and that changes things. Tonight, when your cat chooses where to lay their head, pay attention, because in that one quiet decision, they're giving you their honest answer to a question they've been asking about you all along. Do you meet my standards? Show them you do.